After over a year of waiting, Vail is finally available on App Lab on Quest 2, 3, and Pro. This is a huge opportunity for more players to discover the game, but now that it's behind a $20 price tag, is it worth your money? I'll make my recommendation at the end of this video, but first I'm going to break down the good, bad, and ugly changes that came to the game in this update. Please note, I played the standalone version on Quest 2 and do not have a Quest Pro or Quest 3 to test on, so let's get into the good. First, the new user interface is fantastic. Shout out to AXA, you did a great job on this. It's much more intuitive for new players getting into the game. It's designed very well, and I love the look of it between the menu and the scoreboard and everything else. Well done. Next, the knife is back in the game, and it looks really cool. I've seen some complaints about it, but personally I love how it feels. It collides with other players, and you really need to swing your arm to get it to do damage, so you can't just flail to get kills like in some other games. It's a one-hit kill to the back end of the head, but it does 80 damage to the front torso. You also get a bit of a speed boost when using it, like in Counter-Strike, and I had some fun using it like a Call of Duty tactical knife, and it was a great time. And we are going to get into the bad. This is just barely bad, like some small tweaks, and this could have been good, but the shuttle is here. The shuttle is the new map voting lobby everyone gets to hang out in between games and vote on the next map and game mode. This is nice because now everyone knows what game mode is coming next, unlike previously where a lobby leader would just change it and you would very jarringly be put into a map you might not know, playing a game mode you might not know the rules of. But again, it's a good thing for casuals, but what's bad is instead of utilizing this beautiful new menu they made where everyone can just pop in their votes, everyone has to make their way to the center console, hit a physical button to ready up, wait for enough people to also do that, and then a 30-second timer starts for the actual voting process. At which point, each one of those 4 buttons is assigned to a random map and game mode. You don't get to vote on a full list of maps and modes, but you can vote to refresh your options, which would take another 30 seconds of voting. But the modes and maps selected are random, so good luck getting the map and mode you actually want to play. Also, if multiple people want the same game mode, they're going to crowd the same button. And Vail has player collision, so if too many people are standing around at a button, they will entirely be in your way. I could not think of any other way to add more friction between a player and playing another game. I don't see why they just don't use the sexy menu and display the votes on screen or use it for a fun little mini game. Let me play Pong with someone I just 360 no-scoped while a child calls us slurs. It's so simple, and what we have here feels very clunky. I hope this gets improved in the future. And oh, one more thing. Everyone still has their knives in the shuttle for now, so good luck not getting stabbed by squeakers on your way to the convoluted map voting station. And on top of that, some bugs made it through. Most notably, spamming the knife causes the game to crash, and dead players don't show up on the scoreboard as being dead in game, but those should be simple fixes. And now, the ugly. So it's no secret Vail needs to appeal to casual players. It has a very dedicated competitive community, but esports aspirations don't appeal to casual players. So I'm going to let some casuals I ran into tell you their thoughts on the App Lab release of the game.
I played the alpha for Quest, and the frames were better than in this one.
At this moment, here's one of my opinions.
Nice.
It's just like the frames and the visuals. I know it's on Quest, but it's just like the frames are, and it's just like
Look better in the alpha as well.
And that's the biggest thing, performance. This is the first day the game is available to everyone on the most popular VR platform, and it runs worse than it did in the alpha. Even for me, when my Quest was plugged into power. I feel like I've talked about this before. Honestly, it runs better than some other games I've tried on the Quest, and it's still being worked on, so this is hopefully the worst it's going to be, but I have said that before, so XLab, please don't make me regret that. Then I booted up again later for more testing, and it ran better than it ever has on my Quest 2 in full lobbies, but no hotfix was pushed. And that inconsistency is where the problem lies, and while yes, the game still is in App Lab unfinished and 4 months or so from full release, XLab put a price tag on this game. And this is where my biggest problem is with Vail at this time. Vail was previously an alpha looking for testers. Every tester, as of today, lost access to the game and now has to pay for it. XLab then posts a launch trailer that explicitly asks for help testing the game, which is still unfinished, and they are now charging for. But because they're now charging for it, they are offering a product to customers, not an alpha to testers, when they themselves are saying that they need testers. And the thing they're testing is behind a paywall. Anyone who spent any time at all on VR TikTok knows that the most commonly asked questions on any video are, what is this game and is it free? Because most VR gamers are typically young, illiterate, and have no money. And the absolute last thing that came with this update was the removal of a lobby leader being able to choose a map after the first map when starting a server. To be honest, I don't know if this is intentional or not, but you remember the shuttle and how the maps you get to vote and play are all randomly selected? Remember how I said before this update, a lobby leader would just choose what map and mode they wanted to play and it would switch immediately, which again is jarring if you're a casual in some rando server, and this way of doing things also has potential to be abused. But that means Vail's most dedicated audience, competitive players, at this time can no longer pick the game's maps and modes they practice on in private matches unless they make a new private server every time. And this has been kind of a recurring theme. I can't tell you how many competitive players I've heard express the sentiment that they love this game and what it's trying to be, but they don't trust XLab because too much has been promised too many times, while too many bugs and oversights have broken the game that they love to play. So that's it for the good, the bad, and the ugly of Vail's App Lab release. So with all that said, do I recommend that you buy this game? And it's complicated. If you have $20 to spare and want to help test a VR FPS in active development and don't mind performance hiccups and inconsistency, I would recommend Vail to you. I would also recommend that you join the Vail Discord to report bugs you may encounter. But if you're looking for a game that is consistent and you can play casually, I can't recommend Vail to you at this time. Check back when the game launches early next year. Subscribe so you don't miss it. My name is Gaijin. I still have COVID. Thank you for watching.